Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Pop Culture at Home. Today we are joined by the incredibly lovely Peta Murgatroyd from Dancing with the Stars. Thanks for being here today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so much stuff that we can chat about right now. We have Dancing with the Stars, family life, but I also want to start it off with saying, you have your beauty collection with Peta Jane and a new SelfTanner collection. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we launched this back in February, and it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to develop the best self-tanner mousse that we can possibly have on the market, and I really feel like we've nailed it. It's a tanning mousse, and we have our tanning mitt that goes with it. And the three key points that we really wanted to have on the market was that it's not orange, number one. So it's a beautiful bronzy glow color. Number two, it doesn't smell. It's going to have like a really, really nice fragrance about it. You won't smell of just popping out of a tanning salon. And number three, that it dries super quick. So when I say super quick, it's literally like I'm rubbing it on my arm and it's drying as you're rubbing it in. So, for moms and people on the go, that's what I needed. I can't wait around an hour to, dry my tan off in the morning or in the evening. So I just want to be able to put my clothes on and get out the door. And this is the product that can do that. So I'm so proud actually that we nailed it.
Yeah, definitely. And can you tell us a little bit about where fans can actually get the product so that they know?
Yeah, so go to PetaJaneBeauty.com.
Okay.
And you'll see it there. Right now, we only have the one product, but we're coming out in a couple of months with probably 3 new ones. So it's exciting that we're expanding really quickly. But this is one color, but you can do many, many layers. So you can make it ultra dark by doing 2-3 layers, or you can do like a really light layer, and it's gonna be fine for like somebody who's really pale.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I know that this is something that you've been working on before with Peta Jane. So I was kind of wondering, are you interested in venturing into the beauty industry with other products too, or is this something that you're planning?
Yes, definitely. I've always been asked on Dancing with the Stars, why don't you do like a lipstick line or something like that? I don't know why everyone used to say lipstick, but I don't know, maybe it's because I got a giant smile, but I would love to get into beauty, meaning face products. I love face skincare. That's something I'm really passionate about since I was little with my mom. But right now it's just all body and tanning. Mm-hmm. But trust me, eventually we're gonna get in there too.
So be on the lookout for that. We have the self-tanner that you can already purchase. So yeah, definitely more on the way, which will be exciting. And I did want to ask, since we are doing this from our homes, the pandemic is still raging on. It's getting a little bit better, but I wanted to ask you how it's been for you and Max and with your son. How has it been handling the pandemic?
I'm going to say like 80% great. Like Shai kind of only really missed out in the first, 6 to 7 months with really playing with nobody, not going to the parks because everything was closed. I think that was probably the hardest thing for all of us to encounter, because when you have a 4-year-old, well, he was 3 at the time, saying you can't go anywhere and you can't go to the park and this is why, and you can't go to that's closed as well. He would ask about all these different things, and I would have to keep telling him and trying to get him to understand. And for a 3-year-old to understand that there's a raging virus going on, it's a pandemic. I mean, it's very hard to explain to him. They just can't comprehend it. So I think that would have had to have been the hardest thing. But and also like a little bit of motivation too. You're stuck at home. That's why Max and I created those at-home workouts that we were doing on IG Live. That wasn't only just for fans. It was kind of for us too, because we needed something to like get us up out of bed. Like, we had something to do. Max would find the music. I would do all the moves. And it was like something we could collaborate on and have fun with in the mornings together, rather than getting up and being like, oh my gosh, our life sucks, the whole world is ending, blah, 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 we would be positive and that would really help us and move our bodies. But another good thing was we had to figure out how to homeschool Shai. So it was interesting. I did a lot of research as to, what I'm going to teach a 3-year-old at home. And, I luckily have a nanny. I'm fortunate to have somebody to help me with those things too. But we both sort of collaborated and thought, this is what we're going to do. He's going to learn basic maths. He's going to learn basic spelling with 3-letter words, 4-letter words. And we're just going to take it from there. Lots of reading, lots of writing exercises and counting. And I think we did a really good job of sort of excelling him, actually, because in that year, I feel like he has really progressed and is probably above the standard of what a normal 4-year-old would be learning right now. In his school, they don't even learn what we were teaching him. So I feel like we did a really good job of that, and it was very beneficial for him. I feel like he's, we say the word smart, be a smart boy, but, it's nice to keep them up on that and to get them reading early. I think it was good for him.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that was such an issue that a lot of parents were facing during the pandemic. And I know you mentioned he's in school now, so he's back.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how is that? I feel like that must be a big change too, going from homeschooling to now he's back in school. And
yeah, I thought he would maybe have trouble adjusting again, but I think he was just so excited to get back, to see his friends, to be able to play on the playground at school and to really communicate and interact with children again. It was the best thing. We actually put him back in October 2020.
Okay.
Which was a little dicey for me because I was on Dancing with the Stars at that time, and the COVID rules and how we were able to put Dancing with the Stars on the air, it was so strict. So it was I held him back. The school actually opened in July 2020, but I didn't send him because I was so nervous that he would bring home, COVID to me, and then I would lose my job. My contract would be ripped up. So it was very dicey, but I decided in October. The show ended in November, so I was just going to give it a chance because I think that, after 9 months of being at home, it was enough for him and he had to go. So
I can relate to that. I'm ready to go back into the world again.
Yeah. So I think we did the right thing there, and obviously no COVID happened. We're all COVID free, and the show Dancing with the Stars, triumphed with what they could do in a COVID situation, pandemic. It was crazy.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to ask you about that, actually. There were so many changes and so many necessary changes that they had to do because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine it was such a different experience doing it during a pandemic than it was before. So what was that like?
It was wild. Going into Dancing with the Stars, you meet all the celebs, you maintain and create these relationships with these people, and you're able to interact and, cheer them on from inside the rehearsal rooms. And literally you were in your own bubble with your celebrity. No producers, no people were allowed into your room at all. It was insane. I gotta say, it took me a second to get used to it, because usually you have producers behind the camera and, everyone's in it. You're interacting. They give you pointers on your dance, like, hey, babe, like, what'd you think of this run? And we couldn't do any of that. They did it all from a control room, and we had like robot cameras around the room, and they just like, like looked at us, and that was it. So, we had to kind of, you couldn't just go to the restroom. You have to say, hey, put your hand up, and they would talk to you through a speaker in the roof. So and then getting tested every single day. I mean, I did so many nose tests. It was wild. But I think what we missed and lacked in the season was the interaction. But, we knew that was going to happen, But, even watching the show live, I mean, we were all in our little pods. Nobody could touch or interact or hug or kiss, like nothing. It was a very different experience.
Yeah, definitely. And I did want to ask too, I did see an interview that Max did about your son Shai, about going into the dancing industry and how he was a little bit hesitant. So what are your thoughts of Shai stepping into the Dancing with the Stars path?
I don't think I've sort of mapped out what I want for him or what I think he's going to be great at. I know that he loves music. I know that he loves dancing. At first, he didn't really want to go to dance class. We have him in a little once a week ballroom class, but what they do is very basic and simple, and they run around a lot and have fun. And it's more about, you're not listening to mama or papa now, it's listening to the teacher, and you stand on your spot and you point your right leg forward. It's all about that. And I'm not opposed to him dancing. I just want him to love it and not think that he has to do it because we did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the most important thing, like not feeling that kind of pressure to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. I think he's going to probably be too tall anyway, to be honest. He's very tall. So.
Oh, but that's, yeah. I feel like that would be kind of perfect, no? For dancing or with partners?
No, usually dancers are on the shorter side, I got to say. Like Max is very tall. He's 6'1", and there's not many 6'1" ballroom dancers around. Yeah.
Okay. But, we'll stay tuned on that. We have everything going on with you and Max, with Dancing with the Stars, Shai, TBD, Dancing with the Stars in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did want to ask, too, my last question for you. You mentioned that throughout the seasons, that interaction is kind of key in Dancing with the Stars and forming those bonds with everybody. You've had many different partners over the years, so I was wondering if there was anybody that you're still in contact with, people that you're still chatting with all these years later.
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky with my partners, I have to say. All of them have been great. But I really have stayed in touch with a couple. Donald Driver, he was my second partner. I won with him. He's great. We chat. Gilles Marini is amazing. Tommy Chong calls me like randomly out of the blue, like every 3 months, and I love him. I love him dearly. Who else? Niall DeMarco. He's incredible. I won with him as well. Yeah, I think those would be the main ones. Oh, and Nick Vial, The Bachelor.
Okay, yeah, and that was only a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. Yeah.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that, like, there's still, like, this family vibe, because I feel like that's kind of what we love about Dancing with the Stars, is seeing the interactions, the bonds. It's really lovely.
Yeah, it's the best part about the show, to be honest with you, the relationships that you walk away with.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like fans can definitely pick up on that, too, and that's the vibe. Yeah, for sure. So I did want to say, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Loved hearing all about Peta Jane, Dancing with the Stars. So definitely stay tuned to popculture.com for more on Peta and Dancing with the Stars.